You want some popcorn? Dune Part 2. Let's fucking go. Dune Part 2. We got the review for you guys. I seen it twice since it came out. Went to go see it Thursday, went to go see it Friday. And if you guys haven't noticed, real quick, who's on right now, we got an OG, triple OG back for the Dune Part 2 review. Let's give it up for Yannick. He's back for this review. Hell yeah, shout him out in the comments. Like I said, he's an OG, triple OG here from day one. So it's good to have him back on it. Me and Jan went to go watch this on Friday. I went to go watch it on Thursday. Andrea and Jay went to go watch it Thursday. So let's give you our reviews at the top of the video. Let's see what we thought. I'm going to let my fellow panelists go first. Andrea, what are you giving Dune Part 2?
5 stars.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Jet?
5 stars.
Yannick?
Yeah, man. 5 stars, 10 out of 10, 100%. A plus. Like, yeah, everything, man. It was amazing.
And surprise, if y'all don't know me by now, Dune was my shit, and this just exceeded everything. 5 stars, 10 out of 10. Echo everything Jan said. Absolutely phenomenal movie. We all recommend it here. Let me not speak for them, but I highly recommend you guys go watch it. You guys recommend it? I mean, judging off the 5 stars all around, I would imagine, right? Go watch this. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I heard Dave Bautista say that, and it kind of sucks for some people, I guess, but you should go see this in IMAX and not cheat yourself out of that experience. So if you can do that, 100%. But we're gonna go see the IMAX tomorrow on Monday. But we just saw it like regular, like recliner seats, nice theater, but no IMAX. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, however you can see the movie, as long as it's on the big screen, can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me and Jan, we got to go see that in IMAX. Like I said, if y'all don't know, I had plans to go watch it in true IMAX, but we have a little IMAX theater here in El Paso. And we got to go do it like that. And real quick, I went, like I said, I watched it on Friday. I was talking to Jed about this a little bit, and for my fellow gamers, it's like IMAX is compared to a regular theater. It's like field of view type of thing. Like an IMAX theater, you're fucking zoomed out, you can see the screen. For a regular theater, you're zoomed in and you don't really get to see the whole picture, or as much of the picture, I should say. And I felt like that's what I was watching, because it did feel a little zoomed in when I watched it on Friday at the Alamo. So yeah, like Bautista said, and like really, I think they even say in the trailer, watch it in IMAX, exclusively made for IMAX, things like that. It's a great experience, and like I said, having seen them both in both ways, definitely prefer the IMAX theater part of it. So go check it out in IMAX if you guys haven't done that. If you guys have the privilege of being able to do that. So yeah, there you guys go. 5 stars all around. Absolutely amazing movie. Go check it out in the theater near you if you haven't done so already. Deserves to watch. It deserves to go watch it in the theater. However you can do it, do it. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, we're going to go ahead and just actually dive straight into the movie, gives our thoughts, spoilers, everything, all that good stuff that you guys are here for. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out, come back, finish the review. Here we go. Who wants to go first, man? What was your guys' favorite part about the movie? What do you guys want to talk about? What was absolutely amazing to you guys?
Just piggybacking off what you guys are talking about with the IMAX and everything. I mentioned it to all of you guys here. Like, the movie itself was great, like visually appealing. It was great storyline, acting. But in IMAX, the sound, man, the score, like it hit me here. Like what I'm watching was great, but then the sound, it made every scene epic. Like them just walking through the dang desert, you know what I mean? It's just like they're great, and it's just hitting me here, like choking me up, you know what I mean? I was just like, man, like, and then certain scenes, the speech, riding the worm, man, like I was choked up. I don't know if you can see, I was sitting next to you. I was just like, Like, dang,
No,
like,
that-
I catch my
I
breath a
wasn't-
couple times. Like,
I wasn't looking over. I'm looking over there. I'm looking on the screen. Bro.
Man.
That's where I was looking.
that's what I'm saying. Like, these guys are gonna go see it in IMAX. Within a couple days, man. It's just the bass and the sound. It hits you. It's like it's turning on another one of your senses. You know what I mean? It's not just visually. It's like the sound is just. It's not just loud. It's just it's the bass hits, man, and the score is just amazing. For every scene, it's like they pinpointed it and hit it exactly. Like it was great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andrew. You have anything?
Well, when we watched it, we didn't see it in IMAX, but I felt like it was there was some scenes that were so loud for me, and I would be like a little startled. But then I kept thinking like, damn, if we watch this in IMAX, it's gonna hit different and it's gonna be so insane. And I kept telling him like, let's go watch it again. Let's go watch it again. I didn't specifically say IMAX, but he bought tickets for IMAX, and I was like, so
Yeah.
excited to see it
Yeah.
again. I've been recommending this movie to people who haven't even seen the first one. And my friends who are not like, they don't watch movies like that, I've been like, watch this. They're like, what is that? I'm like, just watch it.
Yeah, and for all the people that were like hating on the first one, oh, it's a slow movie and it's boring. Nah, man, not this one. Like this one, it's got the action you want. It's got the scenes you want. Like it sucks because you give Dune 1 a 10. I think I gotta knock it back down to a 9 now because Dune 2 is a 10. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
I'm at a
amazing.
20, bro. I'm at a 20. I'm at
Yeah,
10
I mean-
stars between the both of them. Like to me, they're both absolutely great. But I do hear that point. Actually, talking to Cody yesterday, and he brought it up, watching Doom Part 1 and how it did start maybe a little bit slow and stuff like that. So that's not just like a point that people say. It's some people just start off slow, but it's more of a lore movie, Part 1. And yeah, like you mentioned, Part 2, it still has that lore and it still gives you like certain scenes and talking. It's not full on action, but there is definitely a lot more action in this one. And I think Jet will talk about his action sequences that he thought, what he thought about those a little bit more. But yeah, absolutely amazing on the action. No issues whatsoever. What you guys think? Let's talk about Timothée Chalamet's performance real quick. What did you guys think about the man Timothée Chalamet? Did he sway you in any way? More for Jet, honestly.
You had
Yeah.
to know that. shit.
Gotta do it. Gotta do it. What'd you think, Jet?
So yeah, man, I'm not gonna go as far to say I was talking shit about him, but I just wouldn't say I was a Timothée Chalamet fan. That's just where I'm gonna leave that at. Okay. And it didn't help that he got cast as Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory being one of my favorite movies of all time. So it just kind of added like that. Why this guy? But to get back to Dune, man, oh man, did he win me over, bro? He was amazing, a scene stealer, and I brought this up to you guys, but there is a scene in here that we will get to later. Jesus Christ, like just the command that he took over, the raw emotion that he was displaying at that time, like it was just incredible. And you could just see, because if you really break it down and you really think about it, he had to play two different characters, like, and not at the same time, but there was a switch, that he had to go into. And so even that, it was like, dude, like, I don't know if there was a better choice to display and command and take command of that role the way that Timothy was able to do it. And it was just incredible. And it's funny because John was talking about getting choked up, and there were scenes where like Timothy was acting, and I didn't cry or nothing, but I was kind of like, damn, I kind of felt that in my chest, like what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But-
Yeah, like I had to catch my breath. Like,
But yeah, I'll let you guys go on about Timothy. But yeah, J-Man's gonna get into it, but he really is one of the superstars of our generation when it comes to acting right now, and obviously he's gonna get casted in a bunch of more things, but he really won me over in this role. This was incredible. So,
And
Is
Dre,
he
what'd
the
you think?
next Leo?
I can't go that far. I can't go that far.
It's too soon. It's too soon for that. I will say everything that I've seen him in, and it's very few. Obviously, Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2. I saw Wonka, Willy Wonka. He killed it, bro. Like, he did a great job in Wonka. Talk about a role that's like kind of hard to do, following up Gene Wilder. Yeah, and then doing Johnny Depp after that. Like, that's kind of tough shoes to fill. So he actually did a great job doing that. And then a movie that I also saw, it was The King, and he killed it in The King, man. So like,
yeah.
I'm a fan of all the movies that I've seen with him. He's absolutely phenomenal so far, and I'm excited to see where his career goes from here and the other roles that he might be presented with. So that's going to be pretty cool.
He's such a
Go ahead.
likable guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
nothing for me to hate on this guy. Like he seems cool, down to earth guy. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know him in person, but like, you know, those actors, they come off as douchey, some of them, and he just doesn't, man. He just comes off like, I'm rooting for him. I want him. I want to see more. Like, you know. And we'll just go ahead. I mean, I'm going to talk about it. My favorite scene is the dang speech, the speech scene.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Like,
Let's get into it.
oh my god, man! Like it didn't come out of nowhere because you can see it coming up, but him like, oh, that came out of nowhere. Like, whoa, hey, like, hey, man, like yelling at me through the screen, like, you know what I mean? But man, that was amazing. That might be that might be my favorite scene in the whole movie. Like,
That's absolutely my favorite scene.
Wow.
Absolutely my favorite scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, like Jet mentioned, he had to kind of play two characters. In the first one, he's more Paul Atreides, and he's his father's son, and he's learning the ways and things like that. And in this one, he turns into Moadep. I think Moadep was his character's name in this one. And in that scene in particular, when he comes in, you see him kind of just power walking through the crowd and stuff, and coming up on the war council and like, hey, if you want to talk, you got to beat him. And he's like, nah, you think I'm going to deprive me of one of the greatest ones? Nah, I'm not going to do that. And he goes, well, then you can't talk. And right there, he flipped that switch. He said it in their language, man. Obviously, I don't know how to say it in his language, but he said it in their language. There is nobody here that can stand up to me. And he delivered that with such a powerful statement. And everybody just stood up, took out their Chris knives, and were ready to charge this man and actually like attack this man. I thought it was crazy. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. This is insane. And then he goes into the monologue of like, I'm the savior. I'm here to take you guys to paradise. And then he goes into it where like, hey, I saw your grandma, like, she passed 9 moons ago. I saw her journey to get here. She got hit in the face with a rock on the way here. And after he said that, he kind of just bowed down. And there was still people standing up after that. And he goes to another one. You pray for people in your sleep, and you feed them in your dreams or something like that was the extent. And he right away bowed down. After that, everybody bowed down. Such an amazing, powerful scene. Like you mentioned, Timothy flipped that switch. His delivery was so phenomenal. I was looking at his face on the second viewing because I was like, oh, here comes the scene. I even looked over at Gloria and said, hey, watch this shit. Make sure you pay attention because this is going to be absolutely insane.
He said, pay attention.
Yeah. So his face, his dialogue, the way he delivered it, all of that was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Like Jan mentioned, my favorite scene in the whole movie. Any other performances that stand out to you guys? I have one in particular, but all of them, by the way, everybody did a great job. Like, I had no issues with any of the performances in this. But any other standout ones?
I really liked Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
His performance was really good. Every time he came on the screen and he was like Timothy's hype man, I just laughed so hard because he would just be like, as it was written. It was so funny. That was great. I loved it. Yeah.
He made the prophecy like believable. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he
almost
I
want to believe in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I mean, like, I know Dre and I touched on it a little bit the other day, but man, they did our girls and Daya wrong, man. Like, can't believe it, man. And at the end, just the look of she's pissed. Like, she's pissed, man. She's like, I'm out. But
when he was like, I'll take your hand.
She's like,
she was like, And then I was like, it was so crazy, and I really, really, really didn't see that coming. So I was just like, that's a crazy plot twist.
Mhm.
I didn't see that coming at all. And I
There
feel
was.
like
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like I was just so into the movie that if it wasn't that great of a movie, I could have saw it coming because it was kind of like there, right? But I didn't see it coming. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, after seeing it a second time, like you get so much more value too after seeing it a second time. Because the first time you're just watching, you're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen next? Then you know what's gonna happen, right? And then you can actually pay attention to more of the dialogue on your second viewing.
Yeah.
And on that second viewing, he's talking to his mother before she takes the journey to the south, and she actually mentions that his sister was like, "You're a fool in love right now. You need to stay your hand and save it for a important marriage." I think was the line. So like they alluded to that earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was like a great scene. I was like, oh shit, because me and Andrea talked about it a little bit before too, and why he would do something like that. And they actually made a little reference to it before it even happened. So that was pretty cool. But going back to Javier, go ahead, Jet. You have something?
Well, no, if you want to stay on him, because I'm just gonna highlight who I liked, but you can keep going if you have something else to say about him.
My namesake, the guy that me and him shares a name, that was my second performance standout, Javier Bardem. Absolutely phenomenal. I was excited for him to be in the first one, and he didn't really have that big of a role in the first one. So to see him have a bigger role to play in this one, and like Andrea mentioned, he had that comedic relief, but it wasn't like comedic in your face, like comedy in your face. No, it was subtle little lines that he would make. And my favorite one was when Paul refused to be the savior. He's like, no, I'm not the savior. I just want to join you guys. I want to know your ways. And then it cuts to him talking to the rest of the crew, and he's like, "You see that the Messiah wouldn't say that he's the Messiah.
He's
like,
so humble. He would
that's
not
why
admit
he's
to
the
it."
Messiah." So absolutely phenomenal, man. I loved his performance throughout the whole thing. So that was a great one. Go ahead, Jet. Get into yours.
So yeah, when the review like clock passed and everybody could drop their official reviews for the movie, everybody was talking about how the standouts of the movies, obviously Timothy Chalamet, but everybody was talking about Rebecca Ferguson and Austin Butler.
Yeah.
And so those are the two people that I was kind of looking out for the most. And Jesus Christ, man, this man Austin Butler, bro. What a character. And honestly, it was one of my little negatives of the movie. But and none of the negatives that I have are enough to take it down a point. But they're just things that like kind of like just like But Austin Butler's character, and obviously we said spoiler alert, so you're here. But his character dying, it just kind of, I was just like, like I feel like he could have done so much more damage in the third one. He could have been so great in the third one. And obviously they're adapting books, so that's probably how it goes in the books. But just for Austin Butler to give that great of a performance and it ends right there when it could have just kept going, that just kind of was like, like damn, like that could have been a generational performance in the third one. Who knows? But yeah, he was great. And then Rebecca Ferguson, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She had to play two characters too, if we're gonna keep it a buck. and her second character was nuts. That bitch was crazy.
Yeah.
She went full on like witch and prophecy and cult like mode. So yeah, she did a phenomenal job in that. And it's like she went in the first one. I mean, I wouldn't really see her as a villain, right? In this one, you see her like, oh, she kind of might be a little bit of a villain. You're getting those vibes. And I'll let Yang talk about that a little bit because he brought it up. You get those little bit of a vibes like, hey, maybe something's not going on right. Like she might be up to something else. And Yang, you can go ahead and get into that because you did bring it up when we talked about it.
Yeah, just as the movie was progressing and she got a little bit worse and worse and worse, man, I thought our boy Timothy was gonna. I thought that was it for her. I thought she was setting him up. Like she was gonna set him up towards the end of the movie. He's gonna die to I don't know his name. It's called Fade. It's called Fade. I thought she was setting him up the whole movie, and I was like, nah, there's no way, right? Like, and I was like, well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the third movie's. I mean, I haven't read the book, so I don't know. But yeah, man, I felt like she was just setting him up for failure the whole movie,
Yeah.
and of course using him, to for her own, reasons.
Yeah.
But and then at the very end when he turns to Chani and says, I'll always love you to my last breath. I was like, this guy's gonna die, man. He's gonna die. And nah, but he didn't. But yeah, man, I just felt I still feel the same way about her. Like she's just setting him up. Like maybe in the third movie, this dude's gonna die because she's just using him for the greater good, or I don't know, for their own beliefs. The witch sisters, I don't know.
Yep, just right.
Yeah, yeah, and just, I don't know, man, to get that feeling. Maybe in the third one, I don't know. I thought it was gonna happen in this one at the end. Like, no, no way. Like, I love Fade's performance. I love the character. I wish we would have seen more of him taking over the North, other than that one just barrage of, blowing everything up. I thought it would have been a little bit more there. Maybe a couple battles in here and there. You know what I mean? A couple takeovers. But yeah, I was like, there's no way this guy's gonna kill this guy. Like, I don't know, but yeah, and didn't happen. I'm happy. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, it was 10 out of 10. Like Justin said, it's not a little thing here and there is not going to take a point away from it. But yeah, man, I did feel like she was definitely setting our boy up for some failure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I got 2 points that you guys brought up. The first one being Austin Butler, because Austin Butler, I'm not that big of a fan of. Like, I don't really care for his work and things like that. Just personal preference. But he did a phenomenal job in this one, and that goes to his performance because if we're being honest, he didn't have much screen time compared to everybody else. He was on the screen a lot less compared to the other characters, and when he was on the screen, he absolutely killed it. He showed ferocity when he was in the arena. He showed intellect when he was in the spaceship, and like you would think this is some simple stuff, but nobody else thought of it. Batista's character didn't think about it, and he's like, wow. Even the Baron was like, oh wow, old school. What a genius plan. Like, so his performance absolutely killed it, and hats off to Austin Butler. And the next point I wanted to bring up was, let's get into that final fight scene. Then we see
Wait, hold
Austin.
on. Can we talk
Go
about
ahead.
Zendaya real
Go ahead.
quick?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I mean, it's like, obviously, I love her. She's amazing. There's not much to say. She killed it again. Once again, she killed it. Like, she's just such a good actress, and I just want to bring her up because she's just amazing. Of course, like everybody expected her to do good, and she did phenomenal. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
loved.
she's so consistent. She's
Yeah,
a great actress, man. Like,
yeah,
she's gonna have an amazing career. She's so young, you know what I mean? And like, I feel like everything she's gonna be in is just gonna be. She's just extremely consistent, accurate, and it's it sucks kind of being like that because people put you up here, so people like to pinpoint her, maybe her weaker roles, but this is definitely not one of them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's a great point. She did great. She did great.
yeah.
Yeah,
She
she was
killed
another
it.
character
Josh
like in the
Brolin
first one.
too. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
Josh Brolin. No, go
can't
ahead.
hear you.
Zendaya, real quick, she was another character that we all expected to be in the first one because her name was attached to it, and she came up at the end, and that was it. It was kind of like a running joke, like, yeah, we didn't get any of her at all. And obviously, she performed in this one. She had the second biggest role, I think, in this whole movie. So yeah, she did an absolute phenomenal job. And then Andrea, going to your point for Josh Brolin, yeah, go ahead.
Wait, one more thing about Zendaya. Just because I didn't expect her to really soften up her character, like she ended up falling in love with Paul, but I didn't really expect that. So I was like, damn, that was cool. I really thought she was gonna be like, at first how she is, like, against, like, kind of towards him, like, just like standoffish
Mhm.
and like, whatever about him. I didn't think that they would fall in love. So that surprised me. And I was like, wow, like, that's crazy. That's why whenever that happened with when he, like, betrayed her, I was like, so yeah. But yeah, and then Josh Brolin, he was also kind of like another, like, comedic relief, I guess. But I really liked his character. He joined them, like, right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I couldn't really remember, but for some reason I was like, is he gonna betray them? Like,
Yeah, yeah, definitely got that feeling. I got the same feeling.
yeah. But no, he was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool to see him again because we didn't get to see what happened to his character in the first one. We thought he might have died with the whole crew and on the rest of the soldiers, but no, he ended up showing up and he survived. And the whole time at the beginning of this movie, they showed the aftermath of the battle from the first movie, and I was thinking like, oh well, there's got to be. They were talking about how the Atreides is no more, like there's no more Atreides, but I was like, there's got to be some more Atreides on the home planet, right? They're just not completely wiped out, are they? So that's what got me a little bit confused. But then when Josh Brolin's character showed up, Gurney, he showed up again. He mentioned that he and some of the survivors, he was able to get them to safety, and they escaped. So I'm assuming they're back on the home planet, and hopefully they play another role in the third one, because that third one is going to be absolutely insane going against the other houses. So I'm excited for that one. But yeah, that was just a little point that I had up. But let's get into that last scene because a lot of the stuff keeps going back to that final scene. Austin Butler versus Timothy Chalamet. Such a phenomenal fight scene. The choreography was absolutely on point. Talk about the speed that they were fighting each other. Like it was just back and forth, and doing little flips from Timothy Chalamet and catching them off guard. Such a phenomenal fight scene. I absolutely enjoyed it. They did get like he got stabbed. Timothy Chalamet's character got stabbed, and you thought he was gonna die almost right there. Everybody was like, "Oh my god!" Because he gets stabbed, and then Fade ends up pushing the knife a little bit further in. You're like, "Oh shit!" Like, okay, that's usually a death scene right there, and that's it. But he was actually able to kind of back up, and then he ends up getting stabbed again. I think he throws the knife at him, right? If I'm not mistaken, throws the knife at him.
Yeah, here and here. Yeah.
Yeah, he got him in the in the shoulder, I think it was, and they end up coming close together. And at this point right here, I was like, "Oh shit!" Well, let me back up just a little bit because Jan alluded to it too. He turns around to Zendaya and is like, "I'm always gonna love you till my last breath." And usually in movies, when characters do that, they turn and look at the ones they love. As soon as they turn back, that's it for them, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Oh shit, is he about to, is that it right here, right now? This is gonna be nuts if this movie goes that route and they end up like ending Paul. Like I would have been absolutely insane. But they get in that little death lock, and they're fighting for the knife and stuff. And come to find out, no, it was Fade Rotha that ended up dying, and he actually says the line "Well fought, Atreides," which is a callback to the earlier fight in the Colosseum. I thought that was pretty cool. And Paul ends up being victorious, and then that's when he offers his hand to marriage to Florence Pugh. Her character was Princess Arulan. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
Arulan.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of Florence Pugh? Because I know you guys are Jet and Andre. You guys are huge Florence Pugh fans.
I mean, I love her. I love that I was really happy to hear that she was, because all of my favorites are in this movie. Because I love Timothy Chalamet, I love Zendaya, I love Florence Pugh, and I love Anya Taylor-Joy. So like all of my favorites are in this movie. And I mean, obviously she killed it. She did a good job. She's amazing, wonderful, gorgeous, beautiful. Love her, stan her. All of the women in this movie are just incredible.
Yeah, and I think her character got a little, and we see her throughout the movie, sprinkles here and there. She's actually narrating some of it too, but she kind of got like the Zendaya treatment from the first one, the Javier Bardem treatment from the first one, where she's in it, but she's not that much of a role. I think in the later movies, in the third one, at least, she'll have a way bigger role, and we'll actually get to see her performance shine a little bit more on that one. But from what we got for this one, I thought, yeah, she did a great job. She did good. Talking about her emperor, her father, the emperor, I was not expecting Christopher Walken to be like. I was like, oh shit, it's Christopher Walken. I thought he actually did a pretty good job. Like, they just had the Super Bowl commercial with Christopher Walken, and everybody talking like him, and everywhere he goes, they're imitating him and stuff. So that's the first thing I thought of, obviously, when you say Christopher Walken. But he did a pretty good job with the scenes that he was in. I bought him being the emperor. So I enjoyed the performance on that aspect. What did you guys think, or any other performances that you guys want to talk about before we move on? My boy
No,
Dave.
I don't think so. I think we really hit everybody.
Yeah.
Mainly. I mean, obviously, Stellan Skarsgård as the Baron.
Oh, yeah.
He did a good job also. Honestly, there's not a bad performance in here.
Mm-mm.
Everybody did their job. Some exceeded past what they were supposed to do. And then there's Timothy Chalamet.
Oh yeah, there you go. Any other standout scenes besides, obviously we'll talk about it right now too, but the final battle scene? And Jet, I don't know if you want. We talked about it a little bit. The fight scenes. Did you want to bring that up? The I guess the battle scenes that we got.
Yeah, I can. So with a lot of people's, I'm not even gonna say that. There's one review out there, and I don't know who wrote it. I don't know who said it, but there's a line in that review that was just blowing up as soon as it came out. And a lot of people are starting to like echo the sentence, but everyone's saying that like this is this generation's Empire Strikes Back, or the equalizer to that is like this is how it must have felt. This is how it must have felt to walk out of The Empire Strikes Back. And I don't know if I would go that far. Obviously, I wasn't born then, so I can't speak to that. But for one, I don't know if this has the same impact as that, because for one, there's just the huge magnitude of fucking Darth Vader being Luke's father, and that just shaking all of the nerd realm and for forever time. Like it was just like just the way that was insane, and just that movie being perfect from beginning to end. And obviously, this if it's not perfect, it's damn near perfect. But I just don't know, and especially that third act. There's a lot to love in that third act, like a lot. Yeah. But I just feel like for what was building up and that eventual final battle, I just kind of felt like it just kind of came and went, and then it went to Timothy and Fade fighting. Like I just feel like we didn't get enough of that actual battlefield, and you've seen it twice, so maybe you feel differently. But I just felt like all of that was super fast, and the choreography that was happening on the battlefield, that shit was dope. Yeah. Like I just wanted to sit there and see it for 5 more minutes of all the soldiers just fighting and huge explosions and the worms and shit. Like I just wanted more of that, and we didn't. To my knowledge and me remembering it, we didn't get that. So that was just kind of like a letdown for me a little bit.
Zendaya in there doing. Yeah. She looked like Batman. Like that's what Batman does. Like, boom, get off me, boom, boom, get off me. You know what I mean? Like, I think on that scene specifically, because I agree with you. I wish we would have seen more. Of certain things. That's one of them, and another one is taking over the North. I think in that particular battle, I think the sandworms and the bomb did most of the damage, and they were just in there just to clean up. And then that's where they were waiting at the door. They were already at the door. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, movie time, they were already at the door within a couple minutes. I think like more the sandworms and everything, they went in there and wrecked their shit. And then they just went in there and cleaned up and mopped them up. Because like J-Max says, it's from the main dude just going in there and just winning like outright. You know what I mean? Yeah. They mopped them up. Like, yeah. It wasn't really a battle, man. Like they were just like, damn, man, like this is our planet. We have the advantage, and they took full advantage of their advantage. You know what I mean? So I think that I sat on that a couple of days. I kind of thought about it, and I was like, yeah, man, those sandworms. It wasn't just like a couple, man. There was like an army of worms, bro. Like,
I thought it was 3, but seeing it on the second run, I think there's like another 3 on the other row.
There was like 5 at least, man. Yeah,
they brought a bunch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I think like sitting on it, I think that has a big part to do with it. So maybe there wasn't like a lot to see, but like the little piece of Zendaya fighting, I can imagine what the other dudes were doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I kind of agree. I wish I would have seen a little bit more. But I'm not complaining. I'm not taking a point away for that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm still loving what I saw, but could have extended an extra 20-30 minutes of movie for us. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yeah, absolutely. Like we're here for all that shit. Give me more of the fight and all that. Before I get into maybe the technical reason as to why we didn't see more of the fight, like Jan mentioned, when I came out of that, I enjoyed that aspect of it because it's really rare in movies to see your protagonist, your heroes in that final battle scene just completely dominate and just take control of the whole situation. We usually see the fight and it's dragged out and maybe the hero's getting beat up and he finds a way to win eventually. Nah, in this one it was straight dominance from beginning to end. They showed no remorse. They took them all down. But I am with you guys on that point to where, like, yeah, I wish we would have got to see a little bit more fight scenes in the trenches and stuff like that. That would have been pretty cool to see. But I did enjoy that aspect, and I did respect the aspect of them just completely dominating. As to the technical reason, this is what I heard. I saw Dan Merle, which is one of the YouTube reviewers that I saw, and he had mentioned maybe it was about like the budget, right? Like they didn't want to show too much or spend a lot of the budget on that final battle scene. You know, they wanted to just show what they needed to show and then keep going. And it shows because maybe, and he made a great point. Like, what if they show more of the final battle scene, but it hurts the rest of the film and it cheapens like maybe the CGI or the visuals get a little bit, worse because they put the budget at the end. And that makes sense to me. So if that was the reasoning, like I appreciated that the budget went throughout the whole movie and not just the final scene. So it shows in that sense. One question I had for you guys, I brought this up to Jan during the movie theater. I don't know if you remember, Jan. At the final scene, after he goes and kills Baron Vladimir, he goes back and he's telling his guys, the Fremen, go ahead and eliminate the rest of the Sardaukar, bring everybody and capture them. And yeah, we're good to go. So he walks off. He taps the shoulders of one of the Fremen, and everybody else turns around and walks away. But the one Fremen is still staying right there. And I turned to Jan. Is he supposed to do that by himself? Like the Sardaukar? He's supposed to take out that little unit of Sardaukar? And so what did you guys? I mean, I guess he could do it, right? I don't know. These are some badass people. Can he take on I think it was like a dozen, maybe a little bit less of Sardaukar? But shit, if he tapped him on the shoulder, like, yeah, I trust you. This is light work for you. What do you guys? Did you guys catch that the first time watching that? I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was crazy. If that
Man, he had to have a squad. Like the main people had to leave, and then probably the squad had to come in after that. And like, you know what I mean? And
everybody turned around and walked out with Timothy. It was him by himself, just staring at the Sardaukar. I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
I got
so,
you.
I don't know if you guys.
I'm honestly have to pay attention to that.
I remember that.
That guy looked cool standing there, though. He's like,
yeah, he looked cool. He was ready. Like, yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it.
So, he looked like a badass.
Yeah, he did. So when you guys watch it on your second viewing, look out for that scene because I thought that was pretty cool. And I hope that's intended and not just something that they just did or something. Like, yeah, he can do it. He can wipe out the rest of the Sardaukar. But yeah, that final battle scene was phenomenal to see. Like you said, I wish we would have got a little bit more, but what we did get was absolutely amazing. I was on board for all of it. Going back to your Star Wars point real quick, for the Vader reveal, they kind of did that here as to the House Harkonnen's reveal and finding out that Timothy's mother was the daughter of the Baron. And they're actually Harkonnens as well. I thought that was kind of crazy. I was like, oh shit, that's a pretty cool reveal. And he was talking about how we need to fight like Harkonnens, and it shows in the final battle. What did you guys think about that reveal?
That's crazy.
Real quick, I don't know. I mean, TikTok, everything's on TikTok. Have you guys seen the ones where people explain how George Lucas might have stolen a lot of the ideas from the old Dune and put it into Star Wars? So I mean, the connections make sense. You know what I mean? I mean, they're all over the place. So I mean, and then another thing back then, one thing that made Star Wars so epic. And I know this just because, I'm old. And I was talking to people back then, was the visual. Like, you've never seen that kind of visual in a movie theater before. Like, it was crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Of course, this movie didn't really... I mean, IMAX was amazing, but there's nothing, like, new coming at me. You know what I mean? But back in the day, Star Wars had that a little bit of advantage. Maybe that's people came out of that movie thinking like, damn, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen, and blah, 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 just because visually you've never seen stuff like that before. Like the advancements in technology in movies back then was just like boom, 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 boom. Like they were coming rapid, we're kind of like a little stalemate in technology right now. But back then it was kind of the start of the boom. So they came out just like visually and audibly just like, dang man, this is amazing, so it's definitely got
Yeah, I get you. It really hit like different areas that people had never seen before. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I understand. And it was also, I feel like it was also like one of the very first space movies with like so much lore that because I think the one before that, maybe, I don't even think, I think it might have came after. It was the what is it called? The 2001 Space Odyssey. That one's not
Mm.
very like lore-y. You know,
Yeah,
it's not full of lore, so
science fiction-y, you know.
yeah.
Was Star
So
Trek around? Star Trek was around, I think, at that
Yeah,
time.
definitely.
oh yeah,
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 Star
Star
Trek,
Trek was
yeah.
around. I don't know. Obviously, when Star Wars came out, they kind of like dominated that, but I don't know how Star. I've never
it's
been a
just so
Star
much
Trek
more
fan, so I'm not
cooler.
too sure.
The characters are cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
just and this is gonna come back to you because obviously this is your favorite fucking movie now. But like I just think it's interesting how we as a collective, and obviously like the fans of pop culture and these type of things, I just think it's interesting how fast we're ready to crown something like the
yeah,
greatest whatever, you know? Um and it's just like when the reviews coming out, there was people saying it's the greatest movie of all time,
Yeah.
it's the greatest sci-fi movie ever made.
Super hype.
Um and while you see something like that, it's kind of hard to like not set your expectations to like the fucking moon. Um because that's what happened to me. Like I'm going into it, I'm like, okay, everybody's been hyping this up. Like I have, like, just that's just how my brain is gonna work. Like I'm already thinking, like I'm about to see like the craziest shit I've ever seen. And honestly, for my expectations being like there, I don't know if it got there, but if it didn't, it's like right here. Like I was pretty fucking impressed walking out of that movie theater. Um, so like I'm not trying to take it out of certainly not the greatest sci-fi movie of all time. I think you can easily have that conversation. Like it can have a seat at that table with a little time. I think it came out 3 days ago. Like let's let it like marinate a little bit. Um, but as far as the greatest movie of all time, it's like god damn, like
yeah, some
that's
steep competition.
yeah. But and I'm not saying it can't. I'm not saying it's not there or it can't get. I'm not saying it can't get there. But I just think we got to pump the brakes a little bit, let it marinate, and maybe in 10 years we can be like, damn man, Dune Part 2 was really that fucking movie, you know?
Or
Hmm.
But
maybe
if
the third one's even better.
I'm expecting some
maybe,
wild shit from the third one. Like the houses. That's one thing I've been wanting to see from the first one is the houses, and they alluded to it on the third one. So that third one, I have even higher expectations. And Denis Villeneuve being at the helm of all three of these is just like, how could you not? How could you not have those expectations? But talking on your point, like I Doom Part One was my favorite movie, and I know there was some people like I mentioned earlier that just it's not for them, right? And I enjoyed every aspect of that, just like this one had just about damn every aspect that had the first one. Visually, the score, the performances, the script, the dialogue, the direction that Denis decided to go in. It's a complete movie to me in that sense. Like it had all of those, and it hit every single note for all of those that I just mentioned. So that's why, to me, it's my favorite movie. And like you said, we'll see if it does end up going down as one of the best. Because like right now, everybody is crowning it. All the reviews that I'm watching reviews and let me see what other people said. So far, everybody's still doing that on the reviews that I've seen. So.
Yeah, I went on TikTok for days just to see clips of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I
Yeah.
want to go back and see it again. So I'm on TikTok just like, I'm fiending for it, man. Like, I want to go watch it again. Like, it was so good. Like,
Shit,
like
let's go. I'm gonna go again next week, Jan. Let's go. I'm gonna go watch it for the third time next weekend. So
I take my girl,
let me
man. She's
know.
jealous I didn't take her the first time. So,
There you go. There you go. Any final thoughts, guys? Any other things that you want to talk about before we head out?
um, was there anything you guys didn't like? Like I mentioned to you, what I didn't like is one little thing. Doesn't take away from the movie or anything like that. It's just they said, hey man, you got to go across the desert and cross that point and come back. and then like they had a scene with Zendaya just walking the sand walking, and the next thing you know, they're all together again. It's just like well, what happened, man? Like he
You want to
just
see the journey, yeah.
la 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 through the desert. Like, yeah, man, let me see something happen. Like, let me see some of the. You have to deal with the sandstorm, the spider crawling. Like, I don't know, man. Like anything, and just the
And it was really to that point. He was conquering everything that he had to fucking do.
yeah, he was.
Like all the tasks, all the training. Like
Yeah.
we don't see half of it, but he
Mhm.
completed it.
Right, yeah. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that.
Go ahead.
But
I,
like I said, it
I
doesn't
think
take away from anything.
no, and none of the points. If I think of another one, do. It's just they're movies, so we critique. But I think one thing, and I don't know how it goes in the books. So for all I know, that's really just how the man that wrote the books could have wrote it. But Dave Bautista's character, man, from the beginning of the movie to up to the point that he died, he was kind of just getting bitched, yo. And even his death, like he got bitched. It was one counter. He got countered once. Dead.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, son. Like,
I did.
I don't know. I just felt like they could have done his character a little more justice. Maybe gave him like a shining moment before his death, something. But
I'm with you on that point. Dave Bautista, I love him since WWE. That was my favorite wrestler back in the day. Seeing his progression into the movies and stuff. Like, I followed him because of that, and I enjoy his performances. So I would have loved to have seen him and Josh Brolin, especially both of them being MCU. That's kind of crazy. I just connected there, bro. His character as Drax hated Thanos and wanted to kill Thanos. And look, you get the little fight scene right here. So that would have been kind of cool, actually, to do a little fight scene. That would have been pretty cool. So I wish we would have got that a little bit more. The only thing I could think of is the Atreides are just so much more talented than the other houses. They've mentioned that in the first one. They're just absolutely talented. Their training is on a whole nother level. So maybe he just didn't stand a chance. That's the only thing I could think of. But I wish they would have given him a little bit more, for sure. Any other things maybe you guys didn't like, perhaps? The desert thing, I'm with you guys said that, and I was like, I thought they showed montage, but no, after seeing it the second time, you're right. He walked off, wasn't there, and that was pretty much it.
You know what I would have liked to seen how they I think I told you guys how I want to see them how they get off of the worms.
Yes.
We see how they get on, but I like how do they get off? They just jump off and land in the dune, like
they roll.
Yeah. I want to know how they get off.
I don't know. That's another thing that when you said, I was like, I thought about like how are they gonna get off, and they just jump off and they just fucking stop the worm completely, and the worm's gonna be like, yeah, go ahead and take your time. I'll wait. I just thought about it. Yeah, like a bus stop, like a train stop. Yeah. They're good. The only thing I could think of is maybe they kind of slowed it down because you can see the reins on the worm. Maybe they slowed it down and they kind of just have enough time to get off. But then you think of Rebecca Ferguson's character and how they got to the South and she was in a whole like travel basket and shit. Like, well, how did she get out of that shit? So I don't know. Yeah, that would have been pretty cool to see them how they get off of that. Any other things you guys could think of? No?
I really like the scene where it's him when he finally gets to the South, and he basically like drinks the water, and he swears he's not gonna go to the South, and then she's like, you have to drink it, and he's like, okay, drinks it, is right there laying down. I really like that scene. And here comes Zendaya trying to rescue him, trying to not rescue him, but trying to help him, and the mom is just like, do it. And she also says like, this is part of the prophecy. She's like, you're part, because they like, she talks about like, oh, my name is Desert Spring, and she's like, I don't like it, it's part of the prophecy. And then she's like, I don't believe in it. And then later we see like, no, she's gonna be part of the prophecy too, and she's gonna, like, what does she do? Does she drink it too, or what does she do? No, she drinks it too.
She shed a tear.
Oh yeah.
She wiped her tear and then touched the water and then put it on his lips.
Yeah. So then we end up her seeing part of the prophecy too. So I really like that scene. I think that's my favorite scene. Like, I like the speech, but I think that's my favorite scene.
And well, staying on the speech, a lot of the people in our theater, I should even mean when he shouted, he used his speech, Timothy Chalamet's character Paul, at the mother, the Reverend Mother that we saw in the first movie, and we, coming off of the first one and her being like the grand, I guess, Mother Reverend, and she has these badass capabilities, and her just telling her silence, and she's like, oh my god, abomination, like
she's like, oh
that shit was pretty cool to see, and everybody was like, oh shit, like, yeah, that was cool. So I thought that was a
and then the mom is like mind talking to her.
Yeah.
She's like, wrong. I told you, bitch. You shouldn't believe me.
Yeah, absolute stunning movie. Like I said, we recommend you guys go check it out. One thing I will say before we head on out, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, man. If you guys don't know that, I know these guys know that. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So Dune being my favorite movie, part 2, if they can, I hope they adapt the other books. And Denis has already said that, and I looked it up again because I thought I saw it, and I looked it up again. He says he's probably gonna stop after the third one. Like, he won't do them anymore. Not to say that the other Dune movies won't get adapted or books won't get adapted, but he himself, I think, is gonna stop after 3. So hopefully he's like, nah, never mind. I'll keep going. But if this turns out to be like a Star Wars-esque universe, shit, this has got to take it over Star Wars for me, because I absolutely love the world. I love the lore. I love the characters. I'm excited to see where this could go. So, any other thoughts, guys, before we get out?
I also do really enjoy the lore of this movie. I like a movie with a lot of like this has a lot of lore, and I like a movie like that. Mm-hmm. So that where the universe is already, they built the universe in already.
Yeah. That, like I said, that third one hopefully is just jam-packed action, and we get a whole bunch of battle sequences. The thing I mentioned too is they could go crazy with these other houses and get some like crazy cast members. They do it in the first. They did it in the first one. They did it here too. I think they could even go crazier with the other houses and just have some insane performances. Watch Leo. We imagine Leo's one of the head of the houses. Shit, that'd be kind of crazy. I don't know. just throw some crazy performances in there.
The world coming together.
But yeah, like we mentioned. Oh, go ahead.
It makes me want to read the book.
I know.
It makes me want to okay, should I read it and find out before the third one? Yeah. I want more of these characters. I want to see more of it.
Apparently, there's 6 books, and then there's other spin-off books. I don't know how many, but there's quite a few spin-off books from the main 6. So there's a lot of Dune lore and a lot of Dune concept book-wise. Hopefully, like I said, they adapt it to the big screen or shows, whatever. I'm down for anything Dune, and then I'm a complete fan of this now. I'm excited to see the future and where this goes.
Wait, also one more thing I just want to say, this is in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like 24,000 or something like that in our time. Something like that.
Oh, I don't know what year, but
it was 10,000 something, but
yeah, it's really deep in the future.
Yeah, it was 10,000 something, which is shit. I've been watching lore videos and shit like that. Like I've been watching it. It's like 10,000 something on their time. On our scale, that would have been the year 24,000 plus. And the reason for that being they had a war with technology, and that's why we don't see technology in the movie, because they did that. So I would love to see that shit.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so like I said, this is a lot of shit. Adapt it all. I'm here for it. Do all that. That's pretty cool. But there you guys have it. That's our review for Dune Part 2. Like I said, we highly recommend you go check this out in the theater near you. Support it. I think it's going to go down as a big box office hit. I'm pretty sure. I think they were tracking it on the track of Oppenheimer and how well that did in the box office. So we'll see if that can exceed it or at least stay with it. But yeah, Dune Part 2. Let us know your thoughts on that if you've seen it already. Drop your ratings down in the comments below. Like I said, I'm looking through all that stuff, so I'll definitely go check out the comments if you guys drop your reviews down there. So let us know how you thought about it. We hope you liked the video. We appreciate you guys watching this one. Make sure you drop us a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. And in the meantime, keep it locked here to LFG, where we got you covered on anything and everything in pop culture. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. Y'all don't want no popcorn?